The Pledge of Allegiance.
I turned mine on.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Alrighty, thank you everyone. We will call the meeting to order at 7:01. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Von Crooks, Benedetti,
Here.
Cabawatan,
Present.
LaFever,
Here.
Pate, here, Perugi,
Here.
Rizeppa,
Here.
quorum present, Mayor Rizeppa.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk.
Make a motion to excuse Councilperson Von Crooks.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any further discussion? Seeing none is unanimously so ordered. And now on to the minute approval. January 27th, 2020 regular meeting.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from January 27th.
Been moved and supported. Any further discussion? Seeing none is unanimously so ordered. Next up, presentations and proclamation. We have a guest here from the Detroit Institute of Arts. I would entertain a motion to make this a part of the meeting.
Support.
I'll make the motion.
Okay. All right, we've got a motion and support. Any further discussion? Seeing none, it's unanimously so ordered. So thank you very much for being here. Take it away.
Good evening. My name is Charles Garling. I'm here from the Detroit Institute of Arts. I oversee all the art making programs for the museum. Thank you for taking the time to allow me on the schedule tonight. Essentially, I want to just talk about 4 main services that the DIA provides to Wayne County. There are packets next to you, and those have pictures of the PowerPoint that I have up on the board. So before I dive in, I just want to talk a little bit about what makes the DIA special. Every year, we welcome thousands of people to the museum to view the galleries, to participate in art-making activities and other family-friendly activities, to see movies in the Detroit Film Theater, and to see live music on Friday night. The DIA also has over 65,000 objects in its collection from around the globe, from ancient cultures to the present day. It's considered, because of the breadth of its collection, one of the top 5 or 6 art museums in the country. And so just to give you a taste of this breadth, I put together a few photographs of the artwork that we have. So in the upper left-hand corner is The Wedding Dance by Peter Bruegel the Elder. Peter Bruegel is one of the most important artists, Dutch artists, actually, and we're one of 2 art museums in the country that have one of his artworks. In the top middle, you'll see a picture from the fresco that we have at the museum, the Detroit Industry Murals, and that was painted by Diego Rivera in the 1930s. And Edsel Ford actually was a great patron of the museum and funded Diego's trip here to America. On the upper right-hand corner, you might see someone that you might recognize. That was painted in 1887 by another Dutch artist called Vincent van Gogh. And then in the bottom left, a personal favorite, Kermit the Frog. Kermit the Frog is actually out on display right now. He doesn't come out too often because he's fragile, but please come down to the museum and see him while he's out. And next to Kermit the Frog is one of our oldest pieces from ancient Mesopotamia. It's a ceramic piece of a dragon/lizard, and that piece was next to one of the gates leading into the ancient city of Babylon. And then next to that, we have a contemporary work by an artist named Kehinde Wiley. You might recognize that name because Wiley was asked to paint the portrait of President Obama that is now in the National Gallery. And all of this amazing collection is accessible to people by the Tri-County Millage. Let's see. So I want to talk a little about that. In 2012, voters of Wayne, Oakland, and Macomb County voted for a millage to support the DIA. After the vote, the counties put together a governing body that would set the guidelines for the types of services that the DIA would provide. And every year, an independent accounting firm audits the DIA to make sure we're keeping our promises, and that's on our website. So the 4 main services are free admission, education programs, senior programs, and community partnerships. And I'm going to touch on each of those just a little bit. So As residents of Wayne County, you get free general admission to the museum every day that we're open throughout the year. Last year alone, there were 137,000 visits from Wayne County. The second core service area is our education programs. The DIA has really become a leader in education. We provide free field trips and free busing and free experiences for thousands of students every year. And free bus transportation has really been a game changer for many districts who otherwise just simply wouldn't be able to afford field trips like this. And in Wayne County alone, the service agreement dictates that we provide field trips for 16,000 students a year. Last year, because the demand was so high, we had 34,000 students from Wayne County come. So that's just the result of a successful program. In addition to field trips, we work closely with different educators from throughout the Tri-Counties. Since the millage started in 2012, over 10,000 teachers have participated in our professional development activities or used our resources to help augment their curricula. We provide things like first looks, where teachers get to come to the museum and see exhibitions and galleries before anyone else. And we also provide workshops, like I mentioned, such as visual thinking strategies, which is an inquiry-based facilitation method that has been proven to increase listening and critical thinking skills. And in addition to providing field trips, we do provide field trips and teacher development. We do work with teachers from throughout the Tri-Counties. We always want to get better. And so in 2017, we created something called the Teacher Advisory Group, where we work with teachers from throughout the Tri-Counties to help co-develop professional development for other teachers so that we can stay relevant. The third core service that we provide is for seniors. So every Thursday, we have a program called Thursdays at the Museum. It's designed for people aged 55 and older. These are hour-long programs that include film and lectures and artist demonstrations and performances. And they're always followed by a coffee and cookie reception. And it's really funny because the coffee and cookie reception is one of the most popular things about it. They're like, we love the art making, but these are great cookies. So that's been a bit of a delightful surprise. We provide free bus transportation for groups of 25 or more, and we encourage people to come down in small groups and on their own as well. And according to the service agreement, we're supposed to provide, or for Wayne County, we're supposed to provide services for 60 senior groups a year. And last year, we provided free programming for 97 different senior groups. So again, the demand is exceeding what it is that our agreement's mandated. And the fourth core service agreement is our community partnerships, and this is actually one that I have more of a hand in. So I want to talk about three different types that we do, and there are more, but I just want to talk about three. One of them is our off-site drop-in workshop. So you can see on the screen, this is a picture of a family enjoying a free art-making activity at a fair or community event that we have throughout Southeast Michigan. So we work with different communities to provide these free activities all year long, mostly in the summer when we have art fairs and festivals, but we also do things in the winter as well. This year, we're going to have over 100 different days where we're out in different communities facilitating these at 60 to 70 different community events. We also have another program that's growing in popularity called Partners in Public Art. And Partners in Public Art is where we work with different municipalities and communities to co-create works of art that are reflective of those communities. Essentially, we send out surveys to the community and work with different community partners to identify what are the themes and values that represent your community, and then we work with artists to help translate those ideas into a piece of artwork that is reflective of that community. So we've worked on 9 of these in the past, and we're working on 6 more this year. And another community partnership that you may be aware of is our Inside Out program. So with Inside Out, we partner with different communities to bring framed, high-quality reproductions of artwork at the DIA to different communities. So essentially, we work with communities to find places on local businesses or out in popular nature areas to put these types of reproductions up so that people can have a community-based experience with art. You don't necessarily have to come to the DIA to have a connection with the museum and with different artwork. So far, we've installed over 1,600 of these in over 150 different communities in the Tri-Counties, and we're working on another 25 this year, including Trenton in May. And that brings me to the end of my quick overview. I just want to say in closing that the millage has really been transformational for the museum. In the past, we've been a very inward-looking institution, and now we're very much an outward-looking institution. It's changed the culture there, and we've been really proud of the services that we've been able to provide the Tri-Counties. If there's time, I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Does anyone on the council have any questions? Councilman LaFever.
When we passed that millage in 2012, how many years was that good for?
10.
10, okay. Thank you.
Councilman Peruggi.
Yes, generally speaking, how do you keep the municipalities informed of all these changes or events that are going on at DIA? I mean, do you do presentations like you currently are doing or other avenues in which you let us know so we can share with our constituents?
Yeah, we do it in as many ways as we can. Sometimes through email, sometimes through presentations like the one I just give or am doing right now. Also, we have a community engagement department who specifically works with different municipalities and communities to keep them informed of what we're doing and to hear their ideas of what we could do better.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Good. Any further questions from the council? No? Thank you very much for being here. We appreciate it.
All right, yeah, thank you. Appreciate the time.
Doesn't sound like it.
Not today.
Yeah. Right. Well, my internet stopped working, but we'll be able to figure it out for a second. So I think, next up we have public comment on agenda items. Is anyone from the public looking to comment on agenda items? Seeing none today. All right. Thank you very much. So we will move right on down to our SEMCOG membership dues, and I will defer to Councilwoman Pate, our SEMCOG delegate.
Okay, so I'm kind of new at this. Am I to read the letter or just make a motion to accept?
Just a motion is certainly fine.
Okay, so I would make a motion to approve the annual SEMCOG membership dues in the amount of $2,365, with funding coming from account number 101-101-958.
Support.
Has been moved and supported. Any further discussion? Seeing none is unanimously so ordered. All right, thank you very much. Next up, department heads and officials. Chief Creech.
Evening, Mayor and Council. You guys received a communication from me after our study session outlining, this would be the time when my phone rings, outlining there's actually more, but 5 opportunities or options for replacement of engine 112, which is our 21-year-old Pierce. As I covered in the study session, we have a great deal of repairs that need to be done to it. I've also sent you today a letter from the mechanic along with the an itemized draft of the repairs and some of the rationale behind them, and especially with the higher expense items are covered in that letter. I also sent you the previous finance opportunities or options that I presented in 2018. The rates and amounts are pretty similar to what would be available now. I wasn't necessarily going to go out and shop or spend a lot of time on rates until I got some actual direction from council. But just to be clear, to summarize, there's probably 30,000, 40,000 on the conservative side in repairs that are going to be needed in the short term for engine 112. Even if all those repairs came together and everything, the belief is we're still only going to get on the high side about 3 years of service out of it. It's already past its life expectancy at 20 years. Plus, we have, over the last 4 years, averaged about $12,000 in repairs. That's not just the maintenance, that's the repairs on this particular truck. So we may drop 30 or 40,000 now, but that doesn't mean over the next 6 months, 8 months, or a year that we're still very likely to spend another $12,000, because it doesn't seem to get any cheaper, that's for sure. So to briefly outline the 5 options that I see, and actually there's a sixth in there, I guess, but buying a new truck, which has been the traditional way when a truck is run out of service life, that's about $500,000. There are opportunities to buy demo units, which we have done in the past, and it'll save about 10%, take the cost down to $450. I did get a pricing today on a more basic rig that would be new. It would take us about 6 months to acquire it, and it would be, I'm fairly confident I could have it built and stay under the $450,000 mark, which is comparable to what a demo would cost. Third option is, of course, if the council wanted to go down the used route, but that comes with its own set of issues and challenges, because you never know exactly what you're buying, but there are opportunities out there. And of course, I'm forgetting the other 2 options. Oh, we could do the repairs, which you guys kind of know how I feel about that. But I'm more than willing to do it. It's just you have to. We won't stay within our budget if I do the repairs this year or next year. I'm sure of that. And then the other option, of course, is do nothing, and I can just Band-Aid things and ride it out, which I think for everyone it's probably the least desirable thing. But this impacts me now, or the fire department right now, because we're trying to formulate our budget, and I can't honestly forecast next year's budget if I don't have good guidance from the governing body. That's it.
All right, well, I think it's probably apt time for questions from the council, so Councilman LaFever here.
I guess I'd make a motion referring to the administration. They're in the process of doing the budget. Is that true or no? Have you started the budget at all?
Sure, I don't know, I know, I'll have Mrs. Salt speak to that, but I know that the budget sheets have gone out to department heads, and I don't think that they're back yet.
And my only thing about
Is that
that
correct,
is
Mrs.
that every year when we do the budget, we know how much money we'll have available.
Correct.
You'd be the first person to see it, and you present it to us, and then Rick and the council go over that. And that's when we add or delete things based on the information we're giving. So
Sure.
I feel confident letting you make your decision, and letting Rick and the council review that and see what we think about it. That's how I think.
Sure, I appreciate that. So we do have a motion on the floor with that, but I think that the one, I guess, potential pitfall there that would that decision won't come for another 3.5 months. And I mean, Chief, how do you feel? I'd assume need some sort of repairs before then, is that correct, or am I
Well, I should
wrong?
get moving on the repairs, yes, but I can't, so my budget currently has $133,000 for equipment, I believe. That drops off, if you will, next budget, that we made our last payment on our other fire truck and ambulance that we bought, whatever, 4 years ago. So if we wait until the budget is done, or even the budget is recommended, I can't submit my budget to Scott or to council if I don't know what your desire or what your will is. If your plan or what you want, the road you want me to go down is replacement, then I can adjust the budget accordingly. But I can't go through the whole budget process. It's similar to last year when we went through the budget process. We addressed the ambulance, but it was initially deferred, which we were already kind of committed to a repair schedule, a lot of different things, and I came back to you in August and we were able to work it out or whatever. I don't want to end up in that same position with a fire truck. If you want to defer it, that I work for you, that's fine. But if we defer it 3 months, then the build time is for a new truck is 11 to 14 months. So we're getting to where I still have to drop $30,000 or $40,000 into a fire truck that is worth at best $40,000 or $50,000. So I would really, really appreciate coming away from this with just a general direction so I can submit the proper finances to Karen.
Sure. No, it's fair. Councilman Peruggi, you had something?
Yeah, hi, Chief. Besides the creative financing that you've listed out here, are there any other strategies that you have in thought that you haven't shared with, how we can achieve this?
Well, no, every year we write for a grant for a fire truck, but I think I explained that real clearly, that the grants are extremely competitive. There's only 100 trucks a year in the whole country, and it's very unrealistic to expect it to be granted. If there were a corporation or something here in town that wanted to dole out some of the expenditures or whatever, that happens in some communities at different times or whatever. That's a possibility. But other than that, no, you have to decide what you're willing to pay, financing it over whatever period of time. You have the numbers. I mean, it's 3, 7, 10 years. I mean, there's nothing up my sleeve or anything. I got
Okay.
nothing.
Didn't know if you had some.
So, do we have any?
Mr. Mayor?
Councilman Cabawad.
I guess since I'm very new at this, I guess first of all, my opinion is that knowing a little bit about heavy trucks, I would be very hesitant to put money back into the existing unit. I think the chief put it in there somewhere that, or in one of the reports that said something about we could have some extensive rust on it, you could have rails break. When you break frame rails, you're into a whole nother game. So, I mean, my opinion is I'd like to see us go probably down the road of either a demo truck or another existing replacement truck, a used vehicle. I'm okay with that as long as it's a decent, solid vehicle for the next couple of years. My question really is again, how do we finance this, and is it really in our scope of what we're dealing with from a budgetary standpoint, or is this coming out of left field and hitting us kind of by surprise, I guess is my question. I don't know how we replace vehicles and do all that. So.
Sure. So, I mean, to say a surprise, that might be a bit of a stretch. It's a 21-year-old truck.
Yeah.
But it wasn't budgeted for right now. And so in terms of what that would look like on an annual basis, I don't know for the next several years. That's maybe an unfair question to ask our controller here now. But based on whether it be the 3-7-year financing, whatever it may be, I'm not sure. I haven't had the chance. I just got some of this this afternoon as well.
Yeah, no, understand. I think, I would prefer to, I'm just one person, but I would prefer to see maybe some dialogue between Karen and the fire chief and see what the plan is as far as where's this going to put us this year, next year, years down the road as we pay this piece of equipment off, whether it's a demo, whether it's a new truck, whether, whatever the case is. My thoughts. So,
thank you, Councilman. Any other questions?
Yeah.
Did you? Okay. Councilwoman Pate?
I had a question. The fire truck that is current, you said it is possible to resell it. It has a value of...
It's actually pretty limited. So I had it appraised in the summer of 2018 when we first started taking a look at replacing it, and it appraised around $50,000.
Okay, so my question is, do we need to put repairs into the truck to keep that valuation, we sell it as is, it's worth 50,000?
Oh, I would say.
Do the repairs need to be made in order to keep that?
I don't think it's worth anywhere near 50,000. If we got $20,000 or $25,000 out of it as it sits, I would be surprised. If we did the repairs on it, we still wouldn't get a return on those repairs because so many of them are required safety issues. It's very well, if we do nothing to the truck, I mean, it might be $10,000 in value at the end. I mean, you can see by the write-up, the repairs are, significant, and they kind of snowball right down the hill into the unknown, really. So it's, the truck as it sits is of very limited value. I think it would market for, I would be able to put it up for 25, but not much more than that.
So if I can continue, also being new at this, I do feel like I need more information and maybe a budget impact study, where maybe then we can get back together in a study session and talk about it, and then give him a, kind of set off your decision tonight, but maybe just a week so that maybe the study session could be scheduled for the next meeting, and then we could tell him at that point, once everybody has a little more communication on these, on the budgetary impact, when council gets a chance to talk about it, and then give him a direction. I think that would be better for me to make a better decision. I really haven't had a chance to talk too much about the
Sure, no,
impact
that's
on
fair.
that
And
budget next year.
I think that especially, just finding out last week and whatnot, and I haven't had the opportunity to talk to Councilwoman Von Crooks either to get her feelings on it. But we do, as I say, we do have Councilman LaFever's motion on the floor here. So did you want to repeat exactly what to refer to administration?
This is take the information from the fire chief and refer it to administration, let them evaluate it, come back, recommendation to the council.
Okay, so we've got that motion on the floor, and what we could do there, and I guess I don't want to volunteer everyone, but Chief Creech, let me know if this works for you, and Mrs. Saul, if you wouldn't mind as well. But do you think that, I guess as part of that motion, we could kind of see what those financing options might look like to see what it would cost us on an annual basis with some different options? So we know going into budget, and it can kind of help out both sides here. But then maybe we can discuss that at a study session after the next meeting or something like that. Does that seem like it's doable for everyone involved on your end too?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Cool.
The sooner the better.
So we've got Councilman LaFever's motion on the floor. Is there second for the?
Support it.
It's moved and supported. Is there any further discussion on that? None is unanimously so ordered. So thank you all very much. So yeah, I think that's probably the best bet is kind of, so we can get.
Mr. Mayor, are you going to schedule a study session for in 2 weeks?
Yeah, we probably should just do that while we're at it here, if someone wanted to.
Do you want to do it before the meeting in case there's a desire to?
So, yeah, that's actually a good point. So,
And I think we have to be here early for pictures, so we may have that time in between.
I'm not worried about,
yeah, we
I mean,
can, we
we
can
can
delay
put
the
those off
pictures. So,
too,
yeah,
so.
what Mr. Church here said, that maybe we should do it before the meeting, just so that way we can potentially take action at the meeting.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
18th.
So, 6 o'clock on the 18th? Before I commit to that, let me check my own calendar here.
I'll be ready.
Can we make it?
hour, Tuesday, I don't know how much time.
Yeah, 18th, yeah.
If you think a half hour, what do you think, Chief?
I don't have much more to say, honestly, but yeah, 30 minutes I think
We'll
will be
have
will
I think
be
so.
plenty.
6:30. 6:30 on Tuesday. So could have someone make a motion for that.
I'll
to
make
hold
a
this-
motion to have a study session at the next meeting beginning at 6:30.
Sure. All right. Support. Moved and supported. Any further discussion? Seeing none, is unanimously so ordered.
Thank you.
Thank you. Alrighty, not bad. Thank you all very much for that. That is our only agenda item for today.
Wow.
So, yeah, not too bad. That's it. This is, I guess, to scale of after being here for about 11 hours last Monday night. So we will move on to our disbursements and statements. Mayor Pro Tem Benedetti.
Make a motion to approve the authorized disbursement dated February 3rd, 2020, amount of $120,379.35.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any discussion? Seeing none, it's unanimously so ordered. Thank you very much, Councilman. Now we are on to other council business and our comments from council and officials. This time around, we are going to begin with Councilman Scott Caboan.
Just happy to be here. That's all.
All right, thank you very much, Councilman. Councilman Benedetti.
Just like to say what a great job you did today with your State of the City address.
Oh, thank you.
You did very well with it. You outlined a lot of things that we've accomplished over the last year, plus have been accomplished over the time of when former Mayor Stack started them, and we're still working on them. And you did a really good job today. The other thing I'd like to do is thank Mr. Hogan for getting the sidewalk across the viaduct cleaned off. I know the weather helped the last couple days, but till then it was coming over the viaduct one night. I almost saw somebody walking in the roadway, and coming down that hill, you can't see them. So I don't know if we can get on the county to do that. I mean, it used to be done by us, right? Was it?
It was before my time.
Yeah,
I'm not
well,
sure.
I know.
We've
But,
always done it.
so is there a reason now that we don't, or is there just?
Yeah,
Sure,
please.
yeah. Because people have asked that, well, it used to be done, why isn't it done now? And I'm like, it's a county sidewalk, I can't answer that.
We still do it.
Okay.
This was just that event where it was so slushy on Saturday and froze solid on Sunday, and that's why it took
Okay.
a little while for
Cool.
it. But,
Okay.
yeah, it is the county's, and we'll get it clean, and as you know, the trucks cover it back up.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's also the shady side, so
Yep.
we can't take all the credit. It was, 50 degrees yesterday.
Right,
But we
yeah,
hit it with salt, and
Take
we
the
will
credit where you
continue.
can, please, Bill.
Well,
Yeah, no,
but
and you should, because like I said,
Yeah.
it doesn't belong to us, but we're still maintaining it.
Yeah.
People need to realize that we do things around here that
yeah.
are
Yeah,
supposed to be
and we
handled
will
by other-
continue to maintain it. Unfortunately, it's not the highest priority, but
Right.
it is very important to those that do commute across
Yeah,
the viaduct.
I appreciate it, thank you.
Yep.
That's it.
Okay, thank you very much, Councilman. Councilman LaFever.
Just a couple of things. One is that problem, unfortunately, with the fences, and Rick being one of them, that's very disappointing to me, okay? I talked to a neighbor today of yours, elderly couple who's, we don't know what to do. You told me how difficult it was for you to get through, okay?
Still trying to, Bill.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is that, why can't we have somebody in administration organize a deal, get all the information, and contact the county? It's tough to have 20 different people call down there, and I'll use the word getting brushed off, okay? But it needs to be taken care of now, okay? And I was thinking if we could get somebody, administration, to go out there and get all the addresses of the people in contact, and us contact the county, say, here, take care of our residents, please, and get it done, because they're just going to wear everybody down. It's just not going to happen with 19, 20 people calling there. That's my interpretation, okay?
Some of them already fixed them. I know the lady across the street from me fixed hers.
She
without
fixed it,
calling them or nothing. She's called and had it fixed.
because they don't want to go through the hassle. But some people don't have the money to do that, okay? And it wasn't their fault. We need to help those people and get it taken care of by the county. That's my opinion.
Oh, can I comment on him since?
No, go, yeah.
Bill, I agree with you, but there's people that we elect that work for the county. I think they need to get involved too. And I spent time talking to him today. Look, if somebody comes to us, we're coming to them. So he should be going to them and getting us answers. And I've not gotten an answer from anybody at the county,
Right.
elected or not.
Yeah.
So,
Say you're a younger guy, but people, elderly people, they don't want to go through all that. It's too much harassment for the people. That's why I think if we can get somebody here to organize it, can list the places that are damaged, and us call the county, I believe we have more clout than the resident does. That's my opinion.
I feel like they could be asked, if you don't mind making
Yeah,
comments.
go.
I feel like they could be asked to maybe come to City Hall for certain hours during the day and then during the evening and have a table set up or something where residents come in and fill out the paperwork, or at least, give their name and number or something, have a staffer come in and sit here and do that from the county. It could be a request that we make.
Yeah, so to a couple of these points, I would certainly have no problem making that request. The odds of that happening, I think, are,
Slim?
I can't say zero, but about as close as we could get. I made mention of this to the county executive earlier today that this has been a headache, to put it lightly. I'm hesitant to have us act as an intermediary, especially as insurance companies get involved, and I don't want people getting confused and thinking that we were the ones that destroyed their fence. But I do think that, anytime, if anyone does need assistance with that, they can call City Hall, and we will find a way. I have also no problem staying in the ear of our commissioner and executive to make sure that that gets taken care of. And I know that, albeit on a different note, I'm going to be seeing some folks from the county on Friday, and we'll be making mention of it then, and we'll report back if there is any kind of status update that they can give, or if any problems have a light at the end of the tunnel here, because I know this is, as unfortunate as it is, it's going to end up being a much more drawn-out process than anyone would like to admit. It's not fun so far, but yeah, I certainly see that frustration. It's literally from almost King Road, from Harrison all the way down, and I know some of the folks that have been affected too, but I think that fortunately, I haven't had anyone blame the city of Trenton for it so far. So that's a good start, and I'm glad that people understand that. But yeah, no, if there's anyone that does need help, they can call City Hall, and we'll do what we can to get that taken care of, and I'll certainly do my part.
Okay. Rick, how many of your neighbors have talked to you about it? Any of them?
I've talked to 2, that's it.
Have they called?
I talked to the guy right behind the mobile station, and then the a couple behind me, and they called and filed they called the number, filed the claim. Now you got to print the forms off, fill them out, mail them in. But the other thing with it, Bill, is, yes, we haven't heard from the county, but the 2 contractors came out, looked at me and said, we can't do anything with this right now. You know that, right? It's winter, we can't fix any of this because it's too cold to be moving that fence around and everything else. With that being said, so they have time. The county has a little bit of time till anything can be done. It's just tell us the process the way it is. How do we need to do it? Because the form asks for your homeowner's insurance, your policy, your declaration page, all that. I wrote on it, you don't need none of it. Your supervisor stopped, and he claimed responsibility for this. This is his name. He said it's their fault. They'll fix it. That's as far as I'm going with him with that. So it's in the mail. We'll wait to see, because, of course, I can't believe you can't email stuff to him. So it's all in the mail, and it'll fall in somebody's hands, and hopefully we'll hear something. But that's where it's at now. So, if people do need help with it, I have the numbers. My email's on there and things like that, so they can call, and I'll get the numbers to Scott tomorrow off the card, or tonight after I'll get out of my truck, and he can have them. These are the numbers you're supposed to call and talk to the people, and they're supposed to take all your information and then tell you what to do, which is, printing some forms off and filling them out.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Our next,
Sorry, just to finish that conversation, is that something we can put on our website, where the phone number to contact, or perhaps the URL where you can print the forms for filling out those applications?
If you don't mind having Teresa.
So then Rick doesn't have to field all the...
Yeah, put it right on the front page or so. That'd be great. Thank you. Councilwoman.
Okay, another thing today was the State of the City address, the Trenton Rotary held the event down there in the TBA down at Westfield. And I had a privilege to sit next with Steve, our mayor, at his table. I walked in, he was all relaxed before the speech. Okay, oh my gosh, how can you be that relaxed, okay? And I sat there, went up and did it, and I was waiting, I was hoping to hear a little nervous on him or mistakes made. He made none. He did phenomenal. I couldn't believe how good he did. Very proud of you. I've been about 40 of those. I would really say this one's in the top 35.
Thank you. I do appreciate that, and it's glad I cleared those other 5.
Yeah. No, he did a phenomenal job. I know we're all proud of you, Stephen, so thank you for representing the city with a great address, too.
No, thank you. I appreciate it, and as I said then, wouldn't be able to do it without all y'all here.
That's good.
Thank you.
And that's it.
Great. Thank you very much, Councilman Peruggi.
I have nothing for you tonight, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Councilwoman Pate.
And also at the State of the City today, Stephen received an award. I think it's the first in the chain of awards. It's called the Peace Chain Award. I think you were the first recipient, and what they're going to do throughout the year, the Rotary Club is going, and I'm not part of the Rotary, so I can't totally explain it to you, but all the different organizations in town that make some significant contribution to our town will get this award, and then in March of next year, all the links in the chain will come together, and and form the actual peace chain. So I think you're a link right now, and then others will be
Been called
linked
worse.
out, and not the missing link. Or but anyway, I thought that was a really cool thing to look out for next year, and maybe contact Rotary to get some more information about how your organization can contact them to also be part of that so-called peace chain, be a link in that chain. But I also wanted to mention that I attended quite a few workshops this last week. And so as we were talking last week about our economic development in the town, so I attended the MParks conference and wanted to say that Joanne and Tim also attended that conference. It was really uplifting. There were lots of ideas. There were lots of presenters. There was a really cool outdoor hockey rink that's not made of ice, but yet you can still skate on it, which was really, really interesting. So people are bringing lots of ideas and so forth for communities to do placemaking and just make our town a better place to live. But what I didn't realize is how much the park department is involved in community planning, and that they were recommended, or the people at the conference recommended, that the Parks and Rec be involved in our economic development plans. So I also attended the DRP Economic Summit. There were also other city meetings. I went back and reread several of our master plans. There's a Parks and Rec master plan, there's a Trail Town master plan, there's a Trenton Coast Resiliency master plan, and I noticed that in every meeting and every document there's a consistent message which says that people who work in our town don't necessarily have to live in our town. They can travel elsewhere to go home. So the only way to get people to stay in our town is to have a town that feels like it's cool, unique. I'm just taking all my notes together here. It enhances their health and quality of life. So it's going to be important for our economic advisor to keep our master plans in mind while seeking out and attracting economic investment to create cohesive plans for our region, which would include the waterfront development, because I think our area needs to have a mission statement. Our economic development team should have a mission statement and goals, and they can find all these things in the documents that already exist. And another recommendation was that you take all those plans and you have a common theme for development, so it doesn't turn out to be a patchwork quilt of, somebody reaching out to us instead of us reaching out to them, so that we have a better plan that can also build off of each other. These goals, such as adding trees, having stormwater management plans, completing sidewalks, connecting the workplace to the public parks, are important in these standards, and that if we put these items in the, or if we negotiate these items with the developers in the first place, they're not going to be against doing all those things as long as they know up front what is important to our community so that they can develop there. It's when you ask them later that they tend to get upset and say, oh, well, you didn't tell me I had to do this to be able to build here and contribute to your community. So they just want to know in advance. So I want to make sure that that we know that when we quantify the value and importance of having public spaces. There was an example that a gentleman gave, and it came off of, somebody asked, well, how do I tell my community what the economic benefit is of incorporating green space into development? And he said, well, Central Park, New York. The property values at Central Park are the most expensive property in all of New York City. And those developments that happen in that area then breed other developments, and everybody's property values go up. Your tax base goes up, drives up the value of the property. So I think it's important as we move forward as a community to, and there's so many groups I'm finding out. There's SEMCOG, there's Brownfield, there's an acronym for just about everything out there, MDEC, I believe, MEDC. There's so many places where we can reach out, and everybody wants to help us, but I think we need to make sure that our economic team has a plan and is ready to ask people to respect it.
Sure. No, and any of that stuff too, if you want to send it along to whether it be the rest of the council and Mr. Church or whoever too, that would be awesome.
I have lots of notes from all these conferences, but lots of great things happening.
All right. Was that all, Councilwoman?
Yep.
All right. Thank you very much.
I guess I should mention also, I didn't do it at the time, but the artwork is coming from the DIA, the Inside Outside project, and I don't want to spill the beans too much, but it's part of the rollout of something that's going on with our trail town, and all of the artwork will be displayed along the trail in some way, shape, or form. So
Awesome.
we're excited that that's happening for our town.
Yeah, that'll be great. Thank you very much, Councilwoman. I'm very brief today. I just want to thank the Trenton Business Association and the Trenton Rotary Club again for setting up the whole state of the city and everything. Thanks to all that were there that decided that, yeah, I guess it was worth a couple bucks to hear talk. But for all those watching at home that might not have gotten be there, I know that it'll be airing on the cable station, will be posted online. Probably nothing that's going to blow you away, since if you're watching right now, you probably pay pretty close attention to begin with. But that'll be great nonetheless. And again, certainly wouldn't be able to highlight all those things without everyone around this table here too. So thank you all very much. So that's all I have for the evening. Madam Clerk, do you have anything for us?
I'd like to just mention that City Hall will be closed on Monday, February 17th in honor of President's Day, and our next regular council meeting is Tuesday, February 18th, with a study session before the meeting at 6:30 p.m.
Great. Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. Mr. Assessor, do you have anything?
Thank you, Mayor Rezeppa and council members. I just want to announce that the personal property statements are due February 20th, and I'd like to announce the March Board of Review appeal dates. The day sessions are March 10th, 12th, and 13th from 9 a.m. till noon, and, excuse me, and 1 p.m. to 4. The evening sessions are March 11th and 17th, and those times are 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. And all the meetings are here at City Hall in the Commission's Room. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much, Mr. Assessor. Mr. Treasurer.
One more time, Mayor, you did a great job. Thank you. You represented. Appreciate it. I want to be the first to remind you that Valentine's Day is February 14th, so happy Valentine's Day. Oh, by the way, taxes are due the same day, so you can't forget that. And I want to also thank those folks that have already paid their taxes. We do appreciate that, but that is a friendly reminder on those taxes. After the 14th, you can still pay them here until March 2nd, but then you're going to be paying that late fee. So you want to get it in before the 14th and before. Questions?
So unrelated, but I forgot to mention it as part of mine, and you might be the one to ask about the Red Cross blood drive. Was Rotary hosting that?
Rotary is hosting that. I'm not sure of the exact
I
date.
Had it, and I was going
It's in March.
Okay, so, yeah, sorry about that. I just wanted to confirm the date. Yeah, I forgot to mention it as part of mine. You can skip out of there, so I don't have any questions for you there.
You're done with me then?
Sure. For now.
Thank you.
I was going to ask as someone who generally knows things like that, but I forgot the exact date, so it was the 24th, and I didn't want to say that out loud and then have it be wrong. The 24th from, I believe it was 2 to 7 at Westfield, is the Red Cross blood drive in honor of Mayor Stack as well, who did quite a bit every year to help orchestrate that whole thing too. So it's February 24th at Westfield between 2 and 7 p.m. So thank you. So that's all from other electeds. Any department heads have anything they want to report this evening?
Thank you, Mayor. I'd just like to remind everyone that our Michigan High School MIHL High School Hockey Showcase is this weekend, starting Thursday evening, Friday, Saturday. We are still looking for volunteers to assist us with goal judging, penalty box, also door monitoring or information booth hosting that. So if you're interested, please contact our office, and looking forward to a great 3-day event. Hope to see you there. Thanks.
Thank you very much. So any other department heads wishing to speak? No? All right. Anyone from the public wishing to speak? Anyone looking to speak? Please run all the questions through me, the chair. Give your name and address, and anyone has 5 minutes. Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion?
So moved.
Moved and supported. Any discussion? Seeing none, unanimously so ordered. Thank you all.